everybody. So as a warm-up, let's just start with this question. And how about Jessica? Jessica, would you like to try to answer this one first? Question number 1, if you knew something was stolen, would you accept it as a gift? Why or why not?
In my case, I don't accept it because it's a bad thing for me.
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't accept it, and
Yeah.
why is it a bad thing? Can you try to be more specific as to why it's bad?
Because stole things is dishonest. When it's it's bad. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Okay. So can you try to put that all into one sentence here? And can you start it like this? I wouldn't accept it because.
I wouldn't accept it because it's something bad.
Okay, good.
I don't know how.
Basically, it's just an issue of having more specific vocabulary, more specific verbs, and more specific nouns. So good job using the grammar, which as you can see, it is second conditional. And do I have a volunteer to explain to the class why this is a second conditional sentence, please? Why is this second conditional? How do you know?
Both?
Yes, would. However, would by itself does not mean second conditional. But yes, would is a signal, but let's try to be just a little more specific. But good job. Yes, would is very important. But we need more than would. It starts with would. Spring, do you know?
I think because we used was in the past. Then, no?
Well, it's because if. If is a magic word in English, right? If plus, what is this right here? New. What is this? A noun? Yeah.
Verb.
And what tense is it?
Present. Simple.
Past simple? Past simple tense?
Yeah.
Oh.
So anytime you see the word if, you know it's a conditional sentence. But what conditional? 0 conditional, 1 conditional, or first conditional, second conditional, third conditional? Well, if plus past simple is the second conditional, right? If plus past simple, and then we have subject plus would plus base verb. So we know this is second conditional when we see if plus past simple, right? And then we see would, the subject, and the base verb. So you just have to think like this. You always have to think like this. You see if, you recognize if, then you, oh, what comes after if? Past simple verb. Oh, second conditional. Morality, right? Morality is what's right versus what is wrong. So it's an issue of morality. Cassia says, I wouldn't accept it because it's not correct, because it's not moral. Okay, that's interesting. It's not moral. Oh, it's not correct. Okay, really? Okay, that's good too. Talk about this in almost every class, but it's the most important way to learn the language, in my opinion. And I think you should concentrate on this rather than like memorizing grammar. So can somebody please tell us what is the form of the English language?
The form? I don't know.
Subject,
Subject, verb, object.
complement.
Object, yeah.
Yeah.
So really, this is the most fundamental principle to learning the language and to communicating. Because if you understand this, then you have essentially, that's how you speak, that's how you write. So it's really just a subject, a verb, and an object. Then you are communicating in English. So when words are confusing or when we don't know vocabulary, a lot of the times this is because we are not understanding the context of the sentence. And in order to understand the context of the sentence, you have to constantly be looking for this. This is the most fundamental relationship in the English language. And of course, there are many variations and there's all sorts of exceptions and irregular things, but more or less, everything goes back to this. And most students' mistakes come from this. They're not understanding this, or they're not using this properly. Okay, so that's always just in the back of our heads, because that's how you know the difference between confusing words, or even how you figure out vocabulary that you've never seen before. So it's a really important strategy. So for number one, do I have any inclusion of, right? With the exclusion of, or with the exception of. So I ordered everything on the menu except
Teacher,
the potatoes. Yes.
should I say abati the potatoes? Abati.
No, this word is accept.
Okay.
And then of course the only verb that makes sense is breathe. And the pronunciation is breathe with a long E. Okay, how about somebody else for letter C? Somebody that has not answered yet, maybe. Any volunteers? Right, subject, verb, object. And as Jessica said, new is an adjective which is describing car, a noun. And altogether, these three words are the object. This is a noun phrase, a new car, right? Here is the subject, she, and then bought is a verb in the past tense. Just is an adverb that is describing the verb, bought, right? So Jessica correctly figured out that it needs to be the adjective version, not the verb, the adjective. And yeah, that was a perfect thought process. So great job. Okay, letter D. And why the correct answer here for number 4 is new, past simple verb tense of know.
Because it is a pasty.
Yeah, and how do you
This verb is past.
yes.
Because it's
Good.
the verb after the subject.
Good. Okay, so both of those answers were correct. So the first, somebody said, second actually, it's a verb after the subject. That is correct. This is a subject. In English, verbs come after subjects, right? So we know that's probably a verb, And this is the object, right? So if you know this is the object and this is the subject, then you know that you must have a verb in the middle because that's English. That's how you make a sentence in English, right? And then Hao said because it's in the past. It's the sentence, the context is in the past. And that is correct. We have a verb here in the context that indicates past tense. The verb is in the past tense, talked. And then we have here the time word, yesterday, right? So we know that this must be a verb, and we know the verb must be in the past tense because of the context of the rest of the sentence. Expression. Catch my breath is an expression, a figurative expression in English. And what does it mean to catch your breath? It's not literal, right? Can somebody explain what it means to catch your breath?
Take a little breath. Take it. I take my breath.
Yeah, actually, I think it just means you were great. That was well said. I would just say to take a break, right? Take a break and breathe. So to catch your breath, like just look at the rest of the
When we run.
Yeah. We've been running for such a long time, so we need to catch our breath. Take a break and breathe, right? Just a moment. I need to catch my breath. Stop for a moment and breathe. That way he thinks it's a wonderful idea. So great job, Cassia. That's correct. Luana, do you want to try, Luana? Letter G.
Okay. Denial is what happens when people refuse to accept the truth.
Yeah,
Is that
and
right?
one.
The first one with an A, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? And look, it's an infinitive. We've got two verbs, and then we have the object here. So nice job. And then let's see here. Valeria, do you want to try letter H, please?
Yes.
Oh, too sad if you get this one wrong, because like I said, even Americans or British people, Australian people, whatever, make this mistake all the time, get it confused. So this one is really obscure. It's a really small detail, but just so you know, that's how it works.